here's where I keep my records. Basically, if you see, there's my CDs down there. Look, it's all dusty and shit. And my books up here. But here is this cool container. Here's this cool container that I found for my records. I actually found it at a Goodwill, which is where I found a lot of my stuff. And here's my guitar. I neglect you too much. But let's see what we have. I have this record, Black Sabbath's Master Reality. It's my favorite Black Sabbath record. It has the best song in the world on it. That would be Sweet Leaf, although Children of the Grave takes a really close second. We have, why is that way? Disraeli Gears by Cream, which is a really good album too. Clash Combat Rock, which has one of the best songs about globalization on it, which is Straight to Hell. We have Tierra City Nights, this is a Chicano classic, like, together. That's an old school song. It's really good. This is a record I kind of found like as a novelty at Goodwill. It's Santa Esmeralda starring Leroy Gomez. Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, which if you've seen Kill Bill 1, that's the song that Beatrix Kiddo fights Oren Ishii to. So I bought it just for that, because like, why not, you know? There's a Billy Idol record. I like Billy Idol. Don't Attack. I think he's good. Like, Eyes Without a Face is the best song ever. Not sure. Oh, there's Billy Idol again, but I wasn't gonna talk about him again. Here is the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, which I consider one of my favorite records. Like, it makes me cry. It's really emotional. Like, some people would call this the first emo album. I've heard that thrown around before, and honestly, that's so accurate. This is like what emo music would have sounded like in the 60s. And when I mean emo, I'm talking about like Sunny Day Real Estate, not like modern day emo or whatever. But the emotional aspect and the kind of love lost feeling is really evident on here. The whole innocence lost theme is really strong, and it's a really good album that's defined me in my life. More Billy Idol, stuff to Bruce Springsteen. Bruce. Ugly. Born to Run. I used to hate Bruce Springsteen until I was like 15, and I listened to this album in its entirety one night when I was in high school, and I was like, holy shit, this is actually good. Like, I would have never thought. And I stand from that day on. Like, it's really good. There's a Culture Club record. This is actually one of the first records I found. I forgot where I found it, but I think it was Goodwill. I actually really do like Culture Club. Guilty pleasure. Carpenters. Carpenters is really my mom thing. See, my mom's from the 70s, so I definitely grew up listening to a lot of 70s pop and rock, and the Carpenters is just one of them, so it holds a sentimental place in my heart, and I do think the Carpenters are good. So Mutual Milk Hotel on Avery Island. I actually think that On Avery Island is better than In the Airplane Over the Sea. I don't own that one. Like, I've listened to it like a few times, like when I was a 13-year-old in her indie phase, but On Avery Island to me is like way better. And people will disagree, but that's just my opinion, and it's the right one. The Mothers of Invention, Absolutely Free. This is a first 60s pressing. That album rocks. Like, I love Frank Zappa so much, so this means a lot to me that I even own it. I played it maybe like 3 times, and the cover's all ripped, but that does not matter. That doesn't matter. Morrissey's Your Arsenal. I love this album, especially for the song Tomorrow is my favorite Morrissey song ever. So I'm so emo about this song and this album. I love Morrissey. I love the Smiths, but I have more of their work on CD than I do on vinyl, which needs to change. Stop. The Velvet Underground, Loaded. This is the best album ever. Like, every single song on this album is amazing. Let me just adjust. Like Sweet Jane, that's like an anthem. Rock and Roll has been covered a million times. New Age, Oh Sweet Nothing. Like, this album is really iconic, and I see that my records have been playing and moving around while I was doing that, but that is like the best album ever. This hasn't even come out of its plastic wrap once, but I bought it because Nancy Sinatra is just style goals. And I like people will say these beats were made for walking is like their fave, and I understand that. But actually, my favorite on here on the album are her Beatles covers, Day Tripper and Run for Your Life. Lots of people have issues with Run for Your Life, the Beatles song, because they're like, oh, it's misogynistic because they're talking about like hurting people, hurting girls. But the thing is that like, I don't know, I feel like that kind of stuff definitely has a place in music, and that's just my opinion. Like, it's just kind of like a fantasy, just like violent video games are a fantasy in a way. I really love Nancy's rendition of this song. It totally just takes it and flips it on his head and challenges you. I love it. She sounds so bitchy on the song. I love it because that's not something you would think when you think Nancy Sinatra. Here's Fragile by Yes. I do like Yes. You know, the roundabout thing was a meme, but I really do love that song. So I play that sometimes. This is the first record I ever bought. This is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts' I Love Rock and Roll, and it's all ripped on the front. I bought it for 50 cents at some little like thrift store that was closing down. I love it. Like, I just love it. I love the actual record that I own physically, but I like the album. It's probably something I listened to a lot when I was just getting into music. So I have a sentimental thing about that. And her outfit on the cover, like, it's so ugly, but I 100% wear it. I love old clothes. Donna Summers, Love to Love You Baby. I bought this in Chicago at some junk store. I don't even remember what it was called, but anyway, I got this record for $1 and it was worth every single penny out of that dollar because that song is iconic. And like, that song's supposed to be like the American / English language version of Je t'aime no plus what the fuck, I can't pronounce French, by Serge Gainsbourg, who's one of my favorite artists ever. I like a lot of French pop music that's old, so apparently this was like her response song. That's like at least what I've read online, but if it is, that makes it even cooler. But even if it isn't, this song's totally iconic and I love it. Supertramp is like one of those 70s bands people pretend not to like, but they do anyway. I really like them though. This is Supertramp's Breakfast in America. My favorite song off this album is The Logical Song, but the title track's pretty iconic too. It's good. The whole album is good. I'd get over my music elitism and listen to it personally. Even if it's on Spotify private session, just give it a listen once in your life. This is Room on Fire by The Strokes. I literally remember when this came out. It's a great album. I actually think that it's my favorite next to Is This It. They're really good. I used to be a really big Strokes fan, and I haven't listened to them as much as I've gotten older, but they're very good. Like, what a great band they are, really, at the end of the day. Here is Iron and Wine, The Shepherd's Dog. I don't even know why I have this left over from my indie phase. I don't listen to Iron and Wine like that anymore. The Best of Bread. This sounds like it would be something my mother would own, but honestly, Bread Bobs. I'm not gonna let anybody shame me. Madman Across the Water by Elton John. I have this because of Tiny Dancer, because that is a song. Like, most famous, anybody? Here is Something New by the Beatles. I bought this because it was $2, and I'm like, a Beatles record for $2. Nobody can pass that up. Here's the Cars debut album. A lot of people don't like the Cars because they think that they represent everything wrong with 70s like rock music, but I love this album. It's so like everything to me. I've listened to it so much. Like, I love that record. Fleetwood Mac, Mirage. I love this album because of the song Gypsy on it. That's a bop. Hold Me is also really good, and people always talk about that song more, but I like Gypsy better. Here's the Santana Greatest Hits compilation. I like Santana a lot. I've actually like seen him. I almost met him once, but it didn't happen. That sucked. But I was raised on Santana, so I have a sentiment for it. Janis Ian, Between the Lines. Janis Ian is one of the best singer-songwriters of the 1960s and early 70s, next to Joan Baez, in my opinion. Janis Ian, Joni Mitchell, and Joan Baez rock. Like, they're just awesome. And Janis Ian's most famous from this album for the song At 17, which was in Mean Girls, and actually that's why they named Janis Ian from Mean Girls Janis Ian, because of this woman, this album. And it's a great song, but like her songwriting skills on other songs can't be matched. Like, she's really underrated, in my opinion. This is Jim Krish, Photographs and Memories. I bought this because it was a buck, and Time in a Bottle is sad. It's a bop though, it slaps. I've heard that people use Time in a Bottle like for graduation ceremonies or weddings, and I'm like, what the hell? Because it's such a sad song. Like, why would you do that? I bought this because it was a buck. It's a Monkeys album. I've never even listened to it all the way through. There's Joan Baez. Joan Baez is awesome. And there's her cover of Eleanor Rigby, which I really love. And a lot of her music's pretty political, but I do like that about her. Like, she never really let anybody, you know, tell her what was up. Like, it was just, she kept that shit real. She kept it 100. Like, that's cringe, but I'm serious, she did. Cheap Trick, Dream Police. This is a good album. Mostly I have this for the song Gonna Raise Hell, because that's a bop. That was on Freaks and Geeks. And speaking of Freaks and Geeks, Sticks, like, fuck, like, I try not to be, like, all Sticks, you know, but Sticks are actually good. Like, I hate saying that, but they're a Chicago band, and I have, like, a kind of a soft spot from bands from Chicago, because that's where I was born and stuff, so I do love that. And also, Come Sail Away, that's an awesome song. I don't want to hear any slander. No Stick slander on my feed, because that song is amazing. And it was the song from the dance scene on Freaks and Geeks' first episode, if you didn't know that already. So yeah, there's my record collection. That's kind of it. Actually, wait, I do have some 45s that I'm gonna kind of talk about really quick. I have I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, which is like a song everybody knows. It's like an anthem and stuff. I Saw Her Again by the Mamas and the Papas, which is a really 60s song about cheating. Bon Jovi, Runaway. Bob, I can't even lie, that's a good song. Like, I want to be elitist about this, but I can't. This Dream Academy song, Life in a Northern Town, which is in a ton of movies, so you probably know what that is. I Ran So Far Away by A Flock of Seagulls. I love that song, like everything else. Cruel to Be Kind by Nick Lowe. I actually think this song is really good. Like, no, nothing. I'm not even ashamed. That's a song. That's a song. Then She Blinded Me with Science, which I mostly love because it goes all, oh goodness, Miss Sakamoto, you're beautiful. And like, I always laugh when he says that. Like, it's funny as shit to me. Back on the Chain Gang by The Pretenders, which is a really great song. Like, The Pretenders are a really good band. I feel like people don't talk about them when they talk about like old music, but Chrissie Hynde, like, she's a badass. Like, she's awesome. I don't know why people don't discuss The Pretenders more. David Bowie, may he rest in peace. Modern Love. David Bowie's like my favorite artist of all time. Like, if I had to really choose, he'd be in the top 3, if not number 1. So that means a lot to me. Wham, Freedom. I fucking love Wham. I stan 100%. And when George Michael died, it rocked me. David Bowie and George Michael in the same year had me all the way messed up. Like, that was not, no. 2016 was the worst year of my life. West End Girls by Pet Shop Boys. This is like a gay classic. It's a good song. And Missing You by John Waite. I pretend not to like this song, but every time like I listen to it, I'm like, yes, this song's amazing. So yeah, that's basically it. Basically, it's just a bunch of 70s and 80s music that I own. Basically, because that's basically what I like. But I definitely am always looking for new records. Comment like where you buy your records. Comment if you'd rather buy them online or buy them in a store, because like that interests me. Do people only buy records online now? Like, I think about that all the time. So yeah, thank you for watching this, and thank you for watching my little intro on my channel. I hope you guys stick around and try to see, you know, what content I come up with in the future. Thank you so much. Bye.